Good morning, everybody. We are fully charged on the brand new 2022 Model 3 Standard LFP. Let me show you what we're looking at. So 275 miles of full range, right at 100%. All right, now one of the questions I got was, do you still get full regenerative braking at 100% battery on the LFP, the blade battery for the 2022 Model 3 Standard? And let's find out. Now, I do want to mention that it is 55 degrees right now, so the battery is cold. There has been no preconditioning done, so you most likely will see the little bars here on the front, but I think we still get regen, as if I remember correctly. This is day 4 of ownership. Let's check it out. All right, as soon as we roll out here, you can see the little dots on the bar. That means the battery's cold and it's not going to get full regen, but it is more than 50% away. So let's check it out. Let's get up to speed. And this new Model 3 is zippy. Let me show you. So that's full throttle. It takes off for sure, and we do get regen. So I have owned a few other Teslas, and I'll tell you what, if you charge up to full percent on the 2170 cells, or if you got the 18650s, depending on what kind of Tesla you got, you will just keep coasting. But we do have regen at 100%. Absolutely. Let me go ahead and switch one mode real quick. So right now we do have it on the roll mode. Let me go ahead and put it in park. And if we switch it to hold, let's go ahead and test that out on the regen. All right, here we go. Put it back in drive. All right, let's get on it. And so a little bit less regen. That we got up pretty good to speed there, and it did hit that max. So I'm pretty sure if you have a preconditioned battery at full charge on the LFP battery, you will still get full regen. We'll have to do another test when I do some preconditioning as well, just to check that out. Definitely stops well with the regen on hold, although I don't like to use the hold mode personally. I like to use the roll mode. I like to coast up to my stop signs and it's lightly press the brake to get it stopped. And here she is, the new 2022 Model 3 Standard with the LFP battery. Range on this model is 272 miles, although I have been getting up to 273 all the way up to 276 on a full charge, so either must be calibrating or has a little bit larger battery size. Absolutely. Now, I did get the window tint. This is day 4 of ownership. 5% tint all the way around. I've got the eyebrow on the front. I also did 5% on the rear. I was thinking about going 35% since I do have the shades on top, but I just wanted it dark, get it blacked out here in Vegas. It gets so hot out here. She is a beauty. So today I wanted to go over some of the comments I've been getting on the last couple videos. Again, this is day 4 of ownership. Now, the first comment I got was by Korea Boy. He says, great video. Does the 22 model now come with heated steering wheel and heated seats? Well, let's find out. Let's jump in. It is a little bit chilly here today in Las Vegas. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. All right, we're inside the car. So this is how you'll access your heated seats and your heated steering wheel. If you just go to your turn on your air conditioner, boom. And then once it comes up, there's a button right here to do your heated seats. And you can see I already got my heated steering wheel turned on. I got the front heated seats and the rear heated seats all functioning perfectly. You can also turn them all off. That's what I usually do. And then I come back in and turn on my heated steering wheel. So when you do turn on your heated steering wheel, every time you get in the car, it's going to remember this setting. So you'll hop in the morning, your heated steering wheel will turn on perfectly.
Down a red line, if the tow truck people come in, they'll tow you.
Oh yeah, I'm just doing a quick video and then I'm going to drive out of here. So I'm not even sitting. Thanks. All right, now the second question I got was, does it come with a 60 kilowatt battery? That's a great question. I want to say I read it does come with a 60 kilowatt battery, but I'll tell you one thing, on the new 2022 with LFP, it is super efficient. I think I read somewhere else that it does come with a different rear motor. And I tell you what, I've been getting the lowest watt hours per mile on my drive, under 230 watt hours per mile. And that's even with driving 80 on the freeway and some nice spirited runs. It is super efficient. I can't wait to see how eventually that goes. And while we're at it, let me just show you inside. I'll show you the update where we're at now on the, this is day 4 of ownership. So let's pull up the miles here. Where do we go? Okay, there we are. So usually it does from last charge, but I just pulled out of my garage, so it's always gonna be high. But this is 127 miles total now and 232 watt hours per mile. That's pretty low. I think we can even get that lower. Now trip B is from the whole drive since full ownership. I guess they're both the same trip. So now all in all, it has averaged out to 232, but I have been seeing lower on my single drives. This is a drive since they have driven it over to me and delivered it. All right, now the next question is, Frank says, does it come with the heated steering wheel and the fog lights? Well, I just showed you the heated steering wheel and the heated seats, but let's take a look at these fog lights. I don't believe it does, although it almost looks like there's a bulb in there. You can see the reflector. So I will have to go at night and double check on that. Let me go inside real quick and see if there's any functions for the fog lights. All right, so if we go over here to lights, we have our headlights, auto high beams, and I wanna say it is missing from here. If I remember correctly on my other Teslas, it had another setting, I believe, for fog lights. So I don't believe it does it, although it looks like it does in the front. I'm gonna have to do a night test on that. Now the next question I got was from Joven1225. How is the audio compared to the old one? Is it noticeable? Well, I'll tell you what, it's definitely noticeable from the premium interior. It just sounds a little bit more tinny. Not as much bass. It definitely doesn't have the amplifier or the subwoofer. But again, I watch a lot of podcasts, so far hasn't really affected me too much. I will have to test it out before my premium connectivity runs out and listen to some music. Now, Classy Shoes says, is it true that we charge the 2022 Model 3 to 100% daily? Well, I tell you what, this is day 4 and I've charged up to 100%, probably about 4 or 5, 6 times maybe so far. You know, I haven't been depleting the battery too much. I've only got 127 miles, but I've been charging it up to full every night. It's not throwing any type of codes. It seemed to be taking it perfectly. So I would have to say yes to that. Eric Liz says, finally a video of the new slower LFP Model 3. He says he has one on order, but he's worried about the acceleration, and he feels a little bit better now that it is pretty zippy. And I tell you what, this car is fun to drive. I've had the 2018 Model 3 rear-wheel drive, and to me, this is the new iteration of the long-range rear-wheel drive. I know it's not long range, 272 miles though. When you charge up to full on the daily, I mean, that's really what I used to charge up to at 90% on all my Model 3s. And to tell you the truth, my 2018 Model 3, by the time I was getting ready to sell it, it was only charging up to about 262 miles at 90%. And you know, on the older battery chemistry, you don't really want to charge up to 100%. Next question I got was from 215 Snickers. He says, 5 Teslas, if you're selling one, I don't mind taking it. Well, I tell you what, they're not, I've never owned them all at once, but we have had quite a few. I'll just kind of give you a quick rundown. The first car I bought was when they released the 2018 Model 3 Long Range back in August of 2018. Now, a month later, they released the dual motor, and I was beating myself up wishing I'd got that model. I did pay $50,000 back in 2018 for the Long Range. Came with 310 miles standard. After that, my wife did buy a Model 3 2021 Standard Range Plus. That one came with 262 miles with a 5.30 to 60. Eventually, with this crazy pandemic and all the car sales prices going up, we traded that in for a $7,000 profit. She ended up buying a black dual motor Model Y. Then my mom had a 2018 Standard Range. That was the one with 210 miles, I believe. The lowest one you had to get off menu. She ended up trading that one in for a... It does now have the Model Y dual motor, a 2021. And now both of those Model Ys with the dual motor, those batteries are large. I think it said 302 25 miles of range, but when you got in and full charged it, it was like 334. Those battery packs definitely came bigger for the Model Y dual motors in 2021. And I can't wait to see what they do in Austin with the 4680s. Jay Pavilion says, I got a Model S long range on order. He said he drove the Model 3 long range and it was a cool car, but wanted more of that premium Model S with the instrument cluster. And he says, congrats on the Model 3. I tell you what, the Model S long range is super sweet with the brand new refresh. I don't think you will be disappointed at all. Now for me, I like a little bit smaller car. It's easier to park, it's much more zippy, quick in and out. The Model 3 is like the perfect size for me. Got another question here. It says, are all the standard Model 3s now coming with the new LFP 4680 battery pack? Does anyone know? He says he's checked with some people at Tesla and they haven't started making the 4680s out of Fremont. So I know they got the pilot line here in there in Fremont, and they are speculating. There's rumors that they're going to be putting the 4680 and the Model Y out of Austin, Texas at the Gigafactory. We will have to see the structural battery pack. So I got the standard range. In the future, kind of my idea is if they ever come out with a Model 3 with the 4680 performance, I might have to upgrade. Nathan says, does the 2022 come standard with the fog lights and the light strip? Well, I just showed you a minute ago. I am not too sure. We're going to have to find out. Not says, I know the Model Y rear-wheel drive came with the premium audio, 14 speakers, 1 sub, and 2 amps, while the Model 3 came with the partial premium, but Model 3 had better range. That's a good question. Now, the Model Y with the standard range that was just available for a couple months, I have a feel the problem with that model was the batteries were just not large enough. You weren't getting the range you needed. But I have a feeling if they come out with the Model Y with the standard range, LFP battery with these new rear motors that are on this 2022, I believe this has a new rear motor, more efficient. If they put that in the Model Y and you get that extended range from a standard variant, that will be perfect. Michelle says the 2020 Standard Range Plus is half a second slower than the 2020. I think what she's saying is the 2022, the new LFP is 5.8 seconds. And what she was saying it is slower than the 2021 Standard Range Plus that came in at 5.3 seconds. Now my wife did have that Standard Range Plus, and while the speed was quick, that car was very zippy at 5.3 seconds because that battery was so light in the 2021 Model 3. You can just feel the lightness and it was super peppy. Even more than this one, but very close. And they're still super fun to drive. When I smash on the pedal on this one, it does rip the tires loose a little bit, but not quite as much as my 2018 long range rear wheel drive did. On that one, when you slam the gas at 5 seconds 0 to 60, it would be ripping those tires off the ground, like clawing for traction. Without that all-wheel drive, you really do feel some slip in the rear on the rear wheel drives. I got another question. It says, are all the standard Model 3s now coming with the LFP 4680 battery pack? I think I answered this one already. I wish it came with the 4680 LFP, but they don't make those yet. The 4680 is still in the pilot production series, and we're hoping to see that soon. I know they have been talking about putting in the Model Y, the semi-truck, Roadster, and the Cybertruck. I got 2 of those on order. Before we go, I just wanted to give you a quick drive, just show you how zippy this car is. It is super fun to drive. It's a little bit heavier than the 2021 model because I believe those batteries were just a little bit lighter than the new LFP. But this car, it's got good acceleration. It's super quick. When you get on the throttle, it almost spins the rear just a little bit. It's very happy in the rear. I mean, you can kind of just zip it around, and with no all-wheel drive in the front, it gives you that full rear bias. So you kind of just zip around corners. It can break loose just a little bit, but don't get me wrong, the Tesla traction control is off the hook. So like going around the corner, it's you can toss it around a little bit. So if anybody's worried about the drive on the new 2022, you're gonna be impressed. It is super fun. So that's gonna be it for this video. I did have one more question. I forgot to take a snapshot out of it, but he wanted to see if the rear taillights, something about the LEDs blinking. So let me go ahead and go inside and see if I can turn on those taillights for you. All right, I turned on the left blinker, so we're gonna take a look at the LED and see what that looks like. It does look pretty clean though. I don't know if that's normal from the older models, the 2021 and below, but it does look pretty clean. Let me know what you think. All right, everybody, that's my quick update video of all your comments. Leave more comments below if you have any other questions, and have a super happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you on the next one.